Good morning, guys. How's it going? Tony here, our cabin in the woods. I don't even know how to talk about all this stuff, what had happened. Two animals lost their lives on our property yesterday. One is a farm animal, one was a pet. One animal, that farm animals, the farm animal was ours. It was one of the piglets. And the pet actually is a neighbor's, which you might be able to hear some barking going on. It was their dog. Not knowing to me that it was their dog, but it really didn't make a difference when this was going on. It's hard to talk about. My wife didn't even go to work today. She's pretty emotional about all of it. All right, let's start from the beginning. I was out by the pigs and all around there, walking around, tending to all them. And I always bring when I stay in one area, I bring my water backpack with me. Need a cup of coffee. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. So I came back in. I've already been out for a couple hours. I came back in to get it, and I stayed in the house just a few minutes, probably like 15, 20 minutes the max, to cool off a little bit. I grabbed my backpack and headed back out. I walked to the front door, and I heard all this screaming, yelping, the piglets, the pigs, all going nuts. I knew something bad was wrong. Ran back in, got my sidearm, ran all the way out, and all I seen was two dogs attacking one of the piglets. They were going in circles. They were pit bulls. How they got in, I don't have a clue. There's no openings, no digging through. I can only see one thing is what I first thought, how they got in. I'll continue real quick the story, what happened. The gray, the mama I didn't know was a mama pit bull, actually had one of the piglets by the head. I could already see there was damage to the rear hind quarter. I did not know the extent of the damage to the piglet. There was two piglets in there. There's two piglets in there. Can't even talk right. There were two pit bulls in there. Like I said, I don't know how they got in there. The big gray one had the piglet by the head. The other one had the piglet by the rear leg. The other piglet's like a white-black piglet. The other dog was white and black. It was on the rear leg. The other piglet was running and hiding in circles, but this started taking off fast. Mind you, I'm walking up. This is all within 5 seconds that everything happened. I wasn't recognizing nothing. I realized that the piglets were being attacked by two pit bulls. The big gray dog I put down immediately. The second one, I was outside the fence, wasn't going inside. The second one turned toward me, and I thought it was going to turn and jump out toward me. The way it was like charging the fence. Well, I turned, unloaded around, and I thought I hit it in the, like you would say, the right front shoulder. It turned, jumped on the fence, and climbed over, and then I seen it running like a run limp, going south. And then I'm looking down my piglet, and it wasn't good. I'm not going to get too much in what had happened, but it wasn't good at all. I actually called my wife. I sent her a picture. And it's probably the fastest drive she's ever gotten home. We didn't know if we'd be able to save her, the piglet or not. The damage was pretty extensive when we walked up. I had already talked to the veterinarian, and because of the size of the piglet, they said that they couldn't take it in. They told me go ahead and take it to OSU. I guess it was an OSU hospital. They handle bigger pigs. These things are only 35 pounds to 40 pounds. They wouldn't take them there. And so my wife, by the time my wife's come home, the piglets have settled down. The one was not acting right at all. So I got out I took out the gray pit. I was trying to let the pigs settle because all the pigs, Sophie was jumping up and down against that one wall, and she never got through it. Sig was going berserk. So I let the piglets calm down a little bit, let everybody calm down a little bit. I fed the big pigs to shut them up a little bit. And mainly what damage was done, but I was trying to get the piglets to calm down a little bit so I can get in there and take a look and see how bad everything is. Eventually I was able to get in there, and it wasn't good. And actually at that point I had already made my decision what I was going to do. But my wife didn't want me to my wife wanted me to hold off until she got there, just in case there's something we could have done. So I just let them be. They just both laid together. They both cuddled each other. They were scared. They were shivering. She come home. My wife come home. And we went out there in the pen. And she kind of looked at that one piglet. Mind you, the other piglet, I don't see a mark on it. Looks perfectly healthy. At first I thought there was a spot, but there's not. So I told her, I said that we had to make a decision what to do. You can tell the pig is in pain. A lot was done. And this is sad to say this stuff, guys. This is farm life, though. I get it. The best thing to do is to put the pig down. And so that's what I did. So as that's going on, I actually picked my phone up and I looked at my phone. Actually, let's back up just a little bit. After I had talked to my wife, told her what happened. She's buzzing home. I picked my phone up and my phone was lit. And it had, well, I'm not going to say who, it had that neighbor highlighted. It wasn't an incoming call. It's like a call, like when you go to your contacts and it brings up their name. That's the page was on, and I was like, she just called me, but I wasn't thinking because everything's crazy going on, and I didn't know why that name was even there at all. Okay, mind you, I don't know who owned those dogs. One thing I did see after everything was done, they had leather collars around them, so they were somebody's pet, but I didn't know. So I looked at text messaging and I looked at calls and I said, heck, no, she's not called. Why is this lit? Not knowing anything. I just backed out of it. And so as I'm over looking at the piglets, okay, like I said, the second dog limped and went south. So I'm assuming that the dog went down somewhere out behind where the piglets are out in that area. Well, then I'm looking over, and all of a sudden, a dog's head pops out of behind the big board that's in the piglets. And I say, what that? I thought that was the same dog. I thought stuck around, but it was not yelping. It was not barking. It was nothing. And then I realized it's a puppy. And it was whimpering, looking down. And I didn't know what kind of dog this was. It was Mama. Well, this puppy looked really skinny or smaller. So I'm assuming that the first dog that was over the fence, the white and black one, was maybe Daddy. I didn't know. Still not putting nothing together, whose dog's who, anything. I didn't even pay attention to whose dog it was until after we attended to the piglet. I thought, well, now I'm just looking. I'm like, well, it's got a collar, but I still don't know whose dog it is. Now what am I going to do? I actually went out in the woods and went through all the front woods, all of that stuff, the thicket, everywhere, looking for that dog. I could never find the dog at all. Don't know where it went. Couldn't find it. So then I actually loaded the dog on the tractor. And then I went and grabbed the collar and took the collar off. And it had a name tag on it. And I was like, great. So anyway, the first number, so I'm starting a down number to tell him, I got your pet, your dog. And when I started dialing the number, it come up the son's phone number. I mean, I talked to him all the time. Actually, he was the one trying to sell me his property directly behind me. And he said, I said, dude, I said, I have real bad news. And I just started apologizing to him. And I told him, I said, he was pretty upset about it. Not at me, that I know of, but he didn't understand the circumstances of what had happened. I mean, I did tell him what happened, and he said that the dogs escaped, dug out from this big fenced area and got out, and they had been looking for him for a couple hours already. And so that's how they ended up here. I told him he's welcome to come over and take a look to show him that they were in there, because anyway, I'm not going to go there. But he was just very upset because that was his baby. That dog, he said, was so perfect. It's around their farm animals all day long, in their pens all day long. The only thing I know they don't have is pigs. Trying to fix this camera. Don't make a difference. So he was pretty upset about it. And he couldn't believe it, because he just couldn't believe it. Well, you know, I couldn't believe what I've witnessed myself. And actually, Angie and I were talking last night that it could have been the pig smell was different to the dog. But I was thinking, Angie brought up first, can you imagine if that had to be grandkids or something in that nature? You don't ever know. These dogs are, that gray one, they both were out to kill. If I wasn't there, he probably killed both the piglets. I can imagine that I was going in town for something, gone for a couple hours. They wouldn't be there. They'd be there, but they'd be dead. So, as I'm talking to him about his dogs, and he told me, he said, well, I don't know. I said, your dog's there, the daddy and the puppy. He says, they're both there. He goes, they're both puppies. There wasn't a daddy dog. Let me back this up. This looks weird. I said, well, I shot it. He goes, no, you didn't. There's no shot marks on the dog at all. I said, then I don't know why it limped unless it went over the fence, hurt its leg. He goes, it has a limp. Or he said it's there. He didn't say a limp. But I told him, I said, well, it has had a taste of blood. Because that's the one that was on the rear quarter of that little piglet also. He understood completely. And I understood what he meant. We both understood. This is country living. This is something when I lost Willow, it's been, I don't know, 4 years ago. She was gone for 5 hours. She was chasing deer. I couldn't imagine that happening to Willow or any of the dogs. They're pets. I understand that was a pet to him tremendously. That dog went everywhere with him, and I get it. I understand. Heart broke. Yeah, Angie didn't go to work today. It really tormented her pretty bad. Seeing both and knowing what happened, you can see what happened. Anyway, we still have one piglet left. Those two were promised to Josh. I talked to him last night, and he knows he'll be getting one, and he's supposed to be here. He said he's looking to be here Friday, maybe mid-morning, somewhere around there. Which would be great because I need to get her out. I got stuff I have to do. Well, guys, this is what happened. This is oh man, this happened. This is yesterday. This will be Wednesday. Today's Thursday morning. It's a beautiful morning out. Farm life's never easy at all. You have to make a decision. I don't like taking life at all. Actually, this is the first time I shot a farm animal or pet, period. And I don't, what do you say? You don't take it lightly. I don't, it breaks my heart. But, all right, guys, I'm going to go. This is what happened yesterday. Pretty sad. I get it completely. I think some of my upsetness, whatever, is because of Angie. But we're going to go. And you'll have a great day. I hope you understand. There's goods and bads about farming, and this is just one of the bads. Fortunately, this is the only one we've had. And hope it'll never happen again, but there's always a chance. Guys, I'm going to go. Y'all take it easy. Sit there.